The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, squeezably soft host, once more into the breach, dear friends. And we got a less than exciting market out here. We're up shade less than 4 points on the S&P cash, 1.69 billion shares today. And that probably tells you everything you need to know. That is that we are going into the depths of summer, and one of the reasons why we were getting out of positions starting on Wednesday, started on Wednesday in the daily newsletter, finished up on Thursday morning. We are out even on the long-term newsletter now. I can't see holding a position for a market that's going to be basically untradeable, I suspect, probably into the 1st or 2nd of September. In fact, let me look at the calendar real quick. Yeah, I think we're back on that Monday, which is 31st. Figure that volume will not pick up again till probably the 1st of September. So we've got a lot of very light and variable trading. Doesn't mean you can't make money, but there's only one way I've been able to make money in these desperate times of little or no volume, and that is to catch a short squeeze. And if you're there standing in the right position, you have everything lined up, you can get a nice little move out of a stock, and sometimes very large moves as they take shorts to the woodshed. As the indexes go, it is hard to find a chart for options that shows this market any more pinned to expiring at 2,100 on the S&P cash next Friday. Now, maybe that'll change a little, I'll let you know. But unless we get yet another hurricane, tsunami, volcano kind of event from China, my guess is that we have a market that's going to be deader than a doornail for most practical applications. Now, next week, we've got earnings coming out in a variety of retail establishments. So if you're going to make plays, I suspect that they're going to have to be on individual stocks or on very narrow sectors like retail next week. There just doesn't seem to be a lot of impotence for this market to go much higher or much lower. But I'm pretty much happy sitting in all cash right now. I think we're going to have a little bit of direction before this market gets up and gets ready to tell us the next story. Of course, you get into the end of summer, and not only are retail traders, Ma and Pa Kettle, out in the proverbial Impala wood grain side station wagon for their vacation, which that movie's coming out. Is it out or is it already gone? Fat cats come back after the 7th, someone says in the den. And that probably would be true, but I suspect that they left a week early this year because of the way things are setting up in schools in the Northeast. And most of them had already left this week, which makes me think that they will be back on that 1st. I think it's an educated guess, but it depends on the way that the calendar falls. And I was looking at it, talking to a few people, and they said most people were expected to come back on the 1st. Now, we do have news that will move markets, and some of that news is going to be buried into this weekend. We've talked about the quote document dump, and a favorite with politicians, also a favorite with Wall Street. Nothing like incredibly light volume when everybody's gone, and dump your stuff going into the end of a weekend where no one's paying attention and no one's going to go back and look later. Well, we're already starting to see some of that. We're getting a lot of these filings that traders have to put out And in fact, a bunch of them ran through today. We'll talk about them. But they have to, most of these guys have to file and make these things public within 10 days of when they are making an operation. And we're starting to see some of those right now. There have been a lot of them, and we're probably going to see most of those tried to be buried into the late end of the day. And if you are around this weekend, probably a good idea. You can get a leg up on the competition by checking those out and looking for all of these filings from the big hedge funds, other big men of the street. We've got one of them moving a stock today. We'll talk about that. We've got the 4 o'clock hour for the Tech Insider. I will be here for the entire hour. So if there's something special that you would like to talk about in technology, a broader brush version than just looking at charts, a more fundamental look at new technology and how this technology will affect all of us, not just the stock price. Tune in at 4 o'clock or email me at path@tfnn.com, and we'll be glad to check those out. Other things of interest out here are also, of course, as we said, I'll just get into it now. Lawrence Kortitikoff, I think that's how you pronounce his name, was out today. He's put an op-ed. He is saying something that everybody that is thinking about retiring one day should know, and that is using using their own numbers. Social Security has an unfunded liability of about $127 trillion. And of course, everybody would, if they tomorrow would start putting in 4 cents more of their every dollar of their paycheck, could make it break even. If we wait another couple of years, it'll be 7 cents. Basically, we have a system that is broke and bankrupt. And frankly, if we don't do anything about it, I hope all the youngsters shove us all on an ice floe and push us out to sea, because that's what we deserve. But you might check that out. I'll find a link if anybody wants it. But it's everything everybody knows. And everybody knows that there's no way we're going to put this cash in, have 40 more million illegal immigrants become citizens, all having Social Security, and ever have this thing work. But no one wants to talk about it. I think our youngsters have the right to just push us off on an ice floe, don't they? Leaving such a miserable mess as that for them. But just one man's opinion. But I think they have every right to just shove us all off into a place and let us starve. But that's just me. And more happy talk soon. We'll talk about all the happy stuff. Technology will probably help us out somewhat, but you never know.
That it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
Speaking of that, today in 1935, the Social Security Act was signed into law, assuring some retirement income for all working Americans. Payroll taxes are set at 1% for both workers and employees on the first $3,000 of earnings. And the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time starts. Oh, what else can you say about that? Nothing. We'll just move on from that into more happy thoughts. But I do digress. We were talking about some of these big companies out here filing. Today, Cisco moved rather abruptly a few hours ago. This is not the Cisco router company that makes internet communications. This is the Cisco truck that you see parked behind every single retail restaurant in America. You'll see them, the SYSCO. I've got a friend that works or has worked for them. He must have worked for them for 25 years now. I don't know what he does now. He turned into kind of a creep. He's one of these guys that gets married to the gal. Just ruins him. I feel sorry for him. He was such a nice guy. And then he turned into a total creep. Well, anyway, not a creep so much as just, I got the wife. I got to do stuff with the wife. We don't do anything except with her family. Anyway, I haven't talked to him for a couple of years now. I tried to keep it up, but what can you say? I still have some very good friends from my childhood, and I continue, even though we don't live in the same city, to talk to them 2 or 3 times a week. Not him, though. I think maybe, I can't say Cisco ruined him. I can say one of my other friends was run by IBM, though. Talk about a cult, not a cult, like scary stuff, but a cult. Like those guys at the airport selling flowers. Anyway, Cisco came out. Of course, one of the big men of the street is buying in large on this, ran this stock up to the previous high and above it. And this is what I'm talking about in thinly trade markets where people may be short. A lot of people were short this stock because, of course, they tried to run a monopoly. They own or have 70% of the retail restaurant business out there, and they tried to buy the other 25% of it from another company. The government wisely kicked them out the door and said, no, you're not going to have a monopoly, a total monopoly. You already have a practical working monopoly. But this is a good lesson, a teachable moment, why I do not short stocks that have 70, 80, 90% of their market. It doesn't matter what it is. Someone will figure out some way to goose it one day, and that's exactly what happened. You got your Christmas goose early in Cisco, SYY. And that probably tells you everything you need to know about that. Buy my 25 pounds of 1/3 pound burgers there. Does Cisco deliver to Polar's house directly? No, they do not. They do not. The White House has finer, higher standards than Cisco's food. And you can, in fact, one of the things I always ask is if you go in there and they go, oh, we have homemade lemon, not lemon, key lime pie. We've got homemade key lime pie. And what homemade key lime pie in Florida generally means is Cisco. So you have to ask the question, is it Cisco's or is it something you truly make in the back? And 7/8 of the time they'll go, it's Cisco's. Along with the hot sauce that goes on every wing, except if you go to Buffalo Wild Wings, it's different. But almost everybody else has their own wing sauce, but they'll buy the wings from Cisco or buy them already ready to go. That's why everything tastes almost the same everywhere you go in America. It's a Cisco. It's precious bodily fluids. It's a communist cult. Oh, don't get me started on Castro, the butcher of Havana. Ugh. I can't see how Cuba finally won the war, and now we are subservient to them. Anyway, I'm all done with that. Done with the negativity. Done with the negative waves. We're going to go into happier talk when we come back. Except the stock is down, so it's not that happy. But I have something happy to slap on it to make it and feel a little bit better. We'll be back in a minute.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crisp crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Sir, drop the chalupa. Put it down and back away.
Sir, don't be silly. Drop the chalupa.
I said, drop the chalupa.
Put it down, man.
Yeah, drop the chalupa.
Well, El Poco Loco dropped the chalupa today. Oh, did they drop it? This is the third gap down, though, and is a possible 3-gap play. So I'm going to start watching this one. This was one of these overpriced IPOs, as so many of them out here are. And, of course, your first decent gap is at $37. Your next one came at 29 down to 25. This one is about equal. And, you know, I probably won't play it, but I would like, if this would have been a longer term chart out here, I would think about buying something back down in here. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. But we will continue. Anyway, pretty horrible earnings. No big surprise. This had been sold as the next Chipotle, however you pronounce that miserable company. It's always got a big line on it, so I'm not going in. Anyway, let's take a look at CMG anyway, even though I'm not going in. You know, it's had a big run off that earnings day. It's had a gap up. It's gone above its previous highs. I guess you have to look at this thing coming back to 727 and or the hipsters thinking that maybe Chipotle is not the hip place to go anymore. I don't know if that happens. Maybe they continue to have production problems with food and can't have food with, what do they call it? Their motto. It sounds so blowhardy. I can't remember. What is it? Food with integrity. That's their motto. Kind of like Google's. Don't be evil. Unfortunately, they became evil. So I wonder if that means if Chipotle says food with integrity, that eventually they have no integrity as everything kind of comes back and plows you in the face. But we'll look at that. Again, we were talking in the den about Buffalo Wild Wings and watching this and how it reacts to the new football season. Apparently, there was some kind of football last night. I did not watch as usual. I like to catch the last 10 minutes of the halftime of Super Bowl each year, and I have my fill of football. Anyway, this has gone above the previous high. It's kind of hanging out there. It didn't have a lot of volume yesterday. Doesn't have a lot of volume here today. Has a nice big gap out here. You know, other than commodity prices, I wonder if anything could severely change the outlook for this company. How about people watching football? And it's hard to tell. But that's a huge double gap. I mean, this came back, filled kind of a huge gap down, gap back over it on the way back. And normally what happens is you do get these double and triple gaps filled fairly quickly. I'll zoom in a little bit closer so you can see on Tiger TV. Someone will see on that. But very interesting. ELLI, Ellie Mae. Been watching some of these up here. And you talk about stocks on very light volume up at the high. Ellie Mae, ELLI. Back into the trading range. It's got a nice little gap that probably, if you were going to play this thing, would need to get filled back to about 69. I suspect that these are some of the stocks that are going to go sideways for the next week. We've been watching Home Depot as a clue to what's going to happen in these housing stocks also. And this is just eked out over the previous significant high that had 12 million shares. That's from February 24th. 117.92, 12 million shares. Yesterday, you had half that with 6.2 million shares. Today, you got 3 million shares. Watch for this to pull back into the 117.92. The downside, not a lot of volume out here, so it's not going to be one of these stocks, I suspect, that falls apart. Anybody with their salt on a trading desk is going to be able to hold this up probably into September. IMAX, which very interestingly had a huge run, and it's pulled back to this level and really doesn't have a lot of gumption. There was a lot of discussion about how they were going to make a huge amount of money also in China. That pretty much came to an abrupt halt come June 22nd when China started falling off the map. IMAX also has two. And this game rocketed down with some pretty miserable volume. And July 7th, it bottomed at $33.85. Tried to bottom again with 1.7 million shares a couple of days ago. So I'm watching this to see if there's anything in here. Even the volume probably going to go sideways for a little bit. In the meantime, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. You can post messages in the den. And I think that's about it. That's all I got to say.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN, and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
If you're looking for a great opportunity to diversify your financial portfolio, consider the Principal Protected Market Safe CD from Everbank. They've just released the second running of their 5-year Market Safe Power Metal CD, which combines the power of gold, silver, and copper. You get exposure to 3 valuable metals in one index CD and have the potential to earn up to 45% capped upside payment at maturity if the metals increase in value across annual pricing dates. And should they decrease? No worries. There's zero risk to your deposited principal here, as you still get 100% of it back. Keep in mind, returns are based on CD performance. There is no annual percentage yield or periodic rate of interest on the CD. Intrigued yet? The August 17th funding deadline is quickly approaching. So hurry over to everbank.com/TFNN for more information, including important product details and disclosures. Once again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Everbank is a member FDIC.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Myland is continuing down the road of acquiring companies. Not a lot of movement in that one today. AMAT, a little bit more of a big mover out here in Silicon Valley. And this thing is coming back to a longer-term gap that has been out for a while. Let me see if I can find that gap. It's been out there for a while. But $16 is pretty decent support. Next level down is $14.85, and Applied Materials just can't buy a thrill. But 30 million shares blows away the December 5th of 2013 low, also the January 31st, 2014 low, and I think that's all I got to say about that. That $14.85 level is all opened up. Let's take a quick look at the SOX. SOX. Anyway, SOX, this is back to the gap. I don't know if there's anything more to say about this. It's been a fairly weak sector, continues to be weak. Probably some good news for Intel, but I don't know if that's enough to actually move the SOX anymore, because 9/10 of them, or 95% of them, are doing so badly. You had a gap that's finally gotten to this gap that had 750,000 shares, got through it with 850,000 shares a couple of days ago. Today, we're kind of trying to come back into that with lighter volume of 300,000 shares today. So it's probably going to act temporary support. You've got two minor gaps out here in the next probable low of $74.16. And to me, my guess is that maybe you get a little ABC action going on here, and the next move it does take you down to that $74 level. It looks like everything in Asia is slowing down rather dramatically. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that. Silver, of course, off about 1.5%. Gold off about 0.2%. But nothing doing well today in a dollar that looks like it's starting to eat a little spinach out here. It's not much, just a hint of a stronger dollar out here. I think that's all it takes to keep a lid on this market right now. We're up 5 points on the S&P cash. Volume is 1.85 billion shares, so it continues to be weak. And, of course, the dollar 96.53, that pretty much means that that 96.30 area is held, at least going into the weekend. We'll see what Monday brings. But that 96.30 area looks like the dividing line, the, what is that line? Mason-Dixon line. That's what it is. It's the Mason-Dixon line of the dollar, and we'll continue to look at it. Continues to look like there's a vast amount of manipulation of the dollar in our markets by government and central bankers. We'll continue to see what they do. Eventually, they will lose control of it. There is not enough money in the world to push the markets around forever, but for a while. What else do we have? Had some questions in the den, or not in the den, in the mail during the break. They wanted me to look at a few things. AMAT was the first one. ASML, we'll take a look at. No big difference out here. Another one that's down. It's done it with volume. It's through the gap. Looks to me like it wants to come back to this big gap that goes back to July 30th of 2014. That gap goes all the way down to about $83. And that's probably going to act as support, another semiconductor in the headlines here. Let's see what they had to say. Yeah. Now somebody's IMing me. It's a lithography company, and that means that they basically make silk screens for semiconductors. So everybody knows where to put the transistors and the different chemicals to go on the board. But that's it. Micron commentary at Analyst Day didn't do them well. A couple others that look like they need to be checked on here. In XPI, not a lot of movement in that one. I don't think the rest of them probably have any. Darden Restaurants up 15% on a rather quiet day on the markets out here. And, of course, Darden reported earnings of 13 cents per share, including non-recurring items, 7 cents better than the estimates, and a $100 million stock purchase program. And this is what you have to kind of watch out for. Was the news really that good? The answer is no. But all you need to do is have a little something on the opposite side to run shorts, and you can have a nice little movement out here. I wouldn't have bet on it going into earnings last night, but I certainly wouldn't have been short either. This thing pretty much had done everything it should have done on the way from $16.22 down to $12. And, oh, this is Darling Ingredients, excuse me, DAR. I was thinking of Red Lobster, and it's not. It's Darling Ingredients. But that's kind of interesting. AAN is being upgraded on the thought that maybe the market's going to pull back and things are going to be a little tougher. It's up here at the highs already. They've been able to bust the high, but no volume. We go back to the July 24th high at $39.06 with 2.4 million shares, and we're into it with 460,000 shares. But This is what happens in the light and variable markets. You'll get a few of these that get picked off. Love Airlines. Wanted to see how this thing was doing on the way back up and how it was doing against this previous high, 15 million shares from July 23rd. Just not that too many days ago. 15 million shares on that day. Today, we're going through it with 3.4 million shares. We are more probably importantly into this candle of the 20th of May. That's when this thing hammered down on 30 million shares. And going to be very interesting to watch this. Of course, kind of trying to sneak this thing back up on low crude prices, but it's hard to see what happened in that. What else? I've got a few other things on my list and my lisp. King, K-I-N-G, King Holdings. Feeling more like a prince than a king today is King Digital. This was a hot roadster for a lot of day traders for a lot of time, down with monster volume that blew away everything that's been around. Its last major low is at $11.96 from January 20th. My guess is we're going to see that next week, even with a little bounce out here today. But you're down on heavy volume. Beat the consensus by 7 cents. Sees bookings lower, though, quarter after quarter, and downgraded by J.P. Morgan himself. They dug him up from the grave to push him out the door. Sonic Automotive seems like it's feast or famine in the automotive business. If you're doing parts like Advanced Auto Parts or O'Reilly's or the rest, pretty much feast. If you're down here at the lows, it's a famine if you're supplying these car companies. Sonic Automotive down here, the previous low at $21.76, 580,000 shares. Got into it yesterday or 2 days ago with 360,000 shares. Had a very, very light volume bounce off here. Doesn't look like anything has changed in it. What else do we have? Smith & Wesson. This thing's been in some nice ABC ups. Watching this go against its June 26th high of 1.3 million shares. Yesterday, it had 600,000 shares. Today, 300,000 shares. So we got a lot of stocks up at highs with no volume, down at lows with no volume. And now you know the reason why. For the most part, I'm sitting on my hands and hoarding all my cash. In fact, I'm looking for a mattress that would fit all the huge amounts of cash that I have.
He's got money coming out of the wazoo.
No, I don't have money coming out the wazoo, although I wish I did. I wish I did. SYNA. This has come back. Wanted to see how this reacted back in. Huge gap up on volume, 3.8 million shares on the 30th of January this year of our Lord. Don't tell me you're some kind of miserable commie. 900,000 shares, 730,000 shares today, 524,000 shares. So fairly aggressively light in synaptics. Of course, let's get the profile and read it off quickly to see how everybody's doing. Develops markets, sells custom-made human interface solutions for electronic devices and products, primarily in China, South Korea, Taiwan, and the United States, and other countries. Offers human interface solutions for mobile product applications. And, of course, what are they talking about? They're talking about trackpads, the little thing you put your finger on on laptops. They're talking about mice, otherwise known as mice. Anything for controlling your mouse, your monitor, keyboards, all kinds of stuff like that. So, and with the rest of the market out here, in at least this sector of computerdom, not feeling real rosy and chipper. Now, Intel has bounced off its recent low, but there hasn't been a lot of people saluting the flag that was put up in Peoria. Boy, did I have to go a long way for that one. But a little bounce out here. It's kind of doing a little sideways action. It's, they are a monopoly. I don't short monopolies, but boy, it certainly doesn't look like a lot of people are joining the love for this company right now. It is interesting. It's just hard for me to say that this company has a poor future when no one else is going to come close to what they do. But just the general malaise of the rest of the industry, pretty much caused by cell phones. I mean, if you were in the cell phone business, you had a lot of business. If you weren't, you're broke or going broke or almost bankrupt. And that is it. It's feast and famine. And of course, when you look at the stocks, it's those companies that truly have been around the Apple infrastructure or the Samsung infrastructure in building phones. Not so much for Samsung anymore because they build almost every single thing that they do. Somebody in the den posting, John from Philly, posting all these stocks at the highs. Yeah, I was looking at Home Depot, which I think kind of runs that market. Toll Brothers up here needs 4 million shares, got 2.3, got half yesterday. March 4th, Toll Brothers, $39.95, 4 million shares. Tried to get in and break it and did on April 6th on 1.8 million shares. And so come back up here again yesterday, 0.3 million shares. Today, 1 million shares, trying to come back into the trading range on this. What I dislike about Toll Brothers and these housing stocks and the rest of them is that you had a nice move from the January 16th low to this April 6th high, and you had some decent energy in it. You pulled back from that April 6th high back down to the May 6th low, and the energy was about the same. It came back fairly strong. Now, what has happened is from that May 6th low up here, the energy has not been anything. In fact, you've had some days where it came down on some fairly decent energy, like the 27th of May. It's been kind of light and variable all the way back up into these highs. So I wouldn't be buying these highs or a breakup of the highs. You'd need a huge sign of strength, and that's probably only coming if the Fed says we're never, ever going to raise interest rates again. And then my guess is that that business will level out and it will come back down anyway. But that's it. This is why Eli is so strong. Central planning, engineering, housing, bull phase 26 and 11. More financing is easy. Yeah. Got some other ones. So let's take a look at Lennar real quick because I haven't had time yet today. Got about a minute left. And this one, same thing. Already challenged the high on lighter volume. April 6th, $53.67, 4.7 million shares. We got it into July 14th with 3.3 million shares. It's been kind of in a downtrend, and it's on that trend line right now. So I guess what you'd probably be watching this thing is on Monday, whether they can break this downtrend from July 14th on this particular stock. I got to change my sitting position, my standing position. I got to change everything. Anyway, we'll be back in a minute. You still have time to give me emails at path@tfnn.com. You still have time to call me at 877-927-6648 on a snoozy, quiet Friday in August.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile based scanner in the industry, powered by the acclaimed with Taz proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the Taz Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're back. I just, every time I see an ad, I want to check it out if it has anything to do with the company itself. And kind of interesting to see Domino's have this deal. I'm not talking about the big one that I'm showing over here on the left-hand side. They've always got that one where you have to go and buy 2 or 3 pizzas and you get a good deal on 3 of them. But you can't walk out the door spending less than $20. Now, the one that interests me is this one over here on the right-hand side where you can buy a large 2-topping pizza for $6. So anytime I see that, I see an ad for low-cost airfare, I start looking at the charts because it's a good indicator that something's going on. They want to keep revenues up. Maybe they're running a little low for the quarter. Anyway, looking at Domino's Deep Death Disc pizzas out here on the charts, it is kind of interesting to see this one has come back and tested the 109 level from July 17th, 2 days ago on Wednesday on August 12th on fairly light volume. It's kind of meandering down here, but to me, this kind of looks like maybe it's had its big shot. It broke out, didn't have the volume, pulled back into the trading range. It's still kind of there. But my guess is these guys are starting to work on building some revenue for this next quarter's earnings. And I bet if I checked it out, I bet they're coming very close to the end. You see a lot of those things in trying to manipulate earnings out there. And if you see it now, when the earnings come, a lot of times you're much more ready and know, especially in this retail environment, it's a lot harder to hide whether you're doing well or not, especially if you can walk into their stores. They've got a few of them around. You can see what you are trading. Domino's, I guess you can see how many are driving up and down the roads, how many people are coming into a location near you, but probably anecdotal. But I don't know. You got this big gap out here, and certainly I don't think it'd be worth trading until it touched it. But if you were going to short this thing, my guess is you'd look for it to come back to about 102 and fill about half that gap. It could be worse than that. But my guess is if they're getting revenues up by pushing out ads like that, that they're probably going to make it, at least the first quarter. The quarter after this one is the one you got to watch because normally they can't keep it rolling that much. Anecdotal. Anyway, we'll move on. We were talking about housing a little bit, and I want to kind of wrap the show up with this one last chart, if it will cooperate. And that is USG. This thing is rocketed off the bottom, which makes you think that maybe something's going on in the housing business that I am unaware of. Energy was a little bit better. Of course, they make sheetrock. It looks to me like they went right up and a couple of days ago tested the previous high of June 9th of 2014 on August the 13th. They've kind of pulled back into this trading range. The energy has been huge off this bottom. And I don't know if there's something I'm missing out here, the rest of the home builders, but this is the one sector out here that had decent energy back up off the July 20th lows of most of these. And you can make a case that this has finished its ABC to its high. But at the same time, it had a lot more energy than it did from the March 18th low to the May 19th high. So not a bad looking ABC. Normally you don't finish ABCs to the top with a lot of volume, but you have in USG. So maybe everybody needs new sheetrock, but hard to tell. In the meantime, I'll see you in another hour. We'll be talking technology. Make sure that you get ready for that. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. And we'll see you here Monday. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.